And then just sitting here, when you breathe, feel your ribs and see if you can feel your ribs expanding out to the sides as you inhale. And as you exhale, feel everything coming in. Now this time when you inhale, feel your ribs not only going out to the sides, but coming out front and back. And exhale, same thing, bring it all in. You can breathe through your nose, through your mouth, whatever feels right to you. I like this nose, it feels very therapeutic to me. It goes back to my yoga training. And then let's start rolling our shoulders in circles, coming forward, up, back, and down. And maybe even close your eyes and see if you can tune into how you're feeling. Notice the nuances of what's happening in your shoulder girdle. And then find that place where the shoulder blades are down and let your right ear reach towards the sky. So if you can see yourself in the camera, notice that the shoulders are even and allow your head to be heavy. So we're just letting the weight of our head naturally stretch out our necks. Breathe and hold. So we don't want to hold our head. We don't want to pull because we want it to be natural. So if you just let yourself sit like this, the weight of your head will naturally stretch you. And then look down towards your left armpit and notice how it changes the feeling. Notice it goes into a little bit of a different location. I would say the most challenging thing here is learning how to let go. So maintaining the alignment, but also just letting the head relax. Now, I just told you not to pull on your head, and I mean that, but I am going to ask you to put the hand at the base of your skull, and instead of pulling, feel your head pressing into your hand and see how that changes the stretch. Then allow your hand to release and stay for another moment. And then roll your chin center. Take your time. Lift your head up and turn your head to the right. Bring your head back center and turn your head to the left. Bring your head back center. If you'd like to, you can change the cross of your legs. There's no real point other than, for me, I feel like I'm being more even. And then from here, reach your left ear to the sky and see how that feels. And notice again if you happen to start to lean forward or back on your sit bones. And just allow the weight of your head to give you a stretch. And notice if your shoulders started to pop up, and your hands could be wherever it feels good to you. With every breath, see if you can allow yourself to let go even more. Notice what you're holding on to, not only physically, but emotionally. You might even feel your jaw relaxing. And then slowly turn your head to look down at your right armpit. And same thing, just let that head relax, looking down. And take your right hand and place it at the base of your skull and press your head into your hand. Release and hold for another moment. Very mindfully roll your head back center and lift your head up. from here, we're going to take our right arm and just gently, like you're going to give yourself a hug, gently bring that arm across from you, and your other arm, your left arm, is pulling down. And take that same arm and think of pressing your shoulder blade down to lift your arm up. So when your arm is up, there will be space between your arm and your neck, as opposed to what I see. And then from here, see if you can bring your hand behind you. So same thing, there should be space here. You can gently see if you can increase that stretch. Taking a deep breath here. And just notice where you feel it. If you don't feel anything, that's actually not bad at all. Unravel, and let's give ourselves, start to hug yourself on the other arm. So now you're bringing your left arm in. And think of pulling your shoulder. I put my hand here to illustrate that there is space. I could put my whole hand between my neck and my shoulder. Elbow can be straight, but it would be more out here. I like it bent because it gives me the ability to pull the shoulder blade down. And then you start to bend that elbow and see if you can make it even deeper. Getting a nice stretch in the back of your arm. I'm just holding my elbow because it makes me be able to relax it a little more. And then unravel. And come into Baddha Konasana. Bring the soles of your feet together. Hands by your ankles so you can maintain stabilization of the foot and ankle joint. And as you exhale, bring those knees towards the floor. And as you inhale, let them come back up. And take your time with every breath. See if you can open up your inner thighs a little more. And if you can see yourself in the camera, or if you can see yourself in a mirror, notice if one knee isn't going down as deep as the other. It's okay. Just notice if you are struggling on one side more than the other. You might even feel it. Once you get your legs to where you feel the best, bring yourself forward, press your forearms into your thighs, or if you can't reach down, just continue to lean forward and breathe. And see if you can keep your head and neck in alignment. Let's do a couple more deep breaths here. And then come back up and just extend out your right leg. Same thing here. If you feel any pain in that knee, you can take a block or a foam roller and let your knee rest on top of it. Sitting nice and tall, reach your left arm up, keep the shoulder blade down, lift up from the lower ribs to come up and over that right leg. See if you can feel yourself creating more space in your spine. If this feels okay to you, maybe bring that left bicep behind you a little more. Take a nice deep inhale here. Exhale and see if you could go even deeper. Press your right hand into the floor, and we're going to all lay onto the left side of our body. So if you can, see if you can have your knees in line with your shoulders, not in front. So you want to be all on one side. And notice what's happening here. Can you support yourself from underneath? So if you feel yourself sinking into the shoulder like this, can you press evenly through the palm of your hand, through your elbow, and feel the support from underneath? Keeping your knees bent, just lift your top leg so it's parallel to the floor and swing that leg front and back. So the goal here is to keep your pelvis aligned and even, and really feel how that's affecting you through your hips Notice if you started to sink a little more, and if this feels okay, start to do it with a straight leg. Maybe flex forward and point back. Now keep your leg parallel to the floor and draw a tiny little circle with your top leg. I would say about 8 times, and reverse it. Notice if you're sinking. Okay, from here you're going to bicycle that top leg like you're riding a bike. Keep everything nice and elongated. And reverse the circle or the bicycle. And then bring that leg in. Your choice, feet can be down or up, and let's do 8 clams. And notice if you started to sink, really press up. Try your best to keep everything aligned. 4 more here. And then everybody can lay completely down onto your left side, interlacing your fingers behind your head. So ideally your elbows are parallel to the floor. The bottom one's laying on the floor. The top one's parallel, not dipped down. Notice that your knees are stacked. You can see your toes wiggling at you. And you can be here or you can extend it, whatever feels the best to you. I like it more 90 degrees. And we're just going to let that right elbow lift. So remember that part where I had you put your hand here to release the shoulder. Press your shoulder blade down. You should feel more of a release in the neck. And then we're going to roll back. Feel that top shoulder blade rolling back, looking towards the sky and then looking behind you. And let yourself naturally move. We don't want to force anything. We just want our bodies to naturally unwind. And just feel how with every breath, your body sinks a little deeper. So if you haven't muted yourself, this would be a good opportunity to take a moment and make sure you're muted because we are recording class. So continue to breathe and look and open up that chest, open up that heart. You can hold this for as long as you like. And then unravel. And we're going to do this again. You can use your bottom arm as a pillow. Your top arm is going to be parallel to the floor. I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody. You're going to reach forward to the ceiling, roll back, and stay there for a couple breaths. Okay, so we should be good now. And notice if at any point you feel your shoulder is popping forward. Reset and think of leading with your shoulder blade as you look over that hand and somewhat control it. So you're really feeling this through your shoulder, your back, your chest. And then everybody bring that arm up. Take your top leg. If it feels okay, wrap your top hand around your top ankle. And gently kick your foot into your hand and see if you could get a deeper stretch in the top, in the front of that thigh. And allow that leg to relax in your hand. And then let that leg rest down. Press your top hand into the floor to come up to a comfortable sitting position, hopefully somewhat comfortable. We want to do our best to keep those sit bones even again. Think of a nice long line from the crown of your head through the middle of your spine, all the way to the floor. Reach your right arm up again. Think of lifting up on the left side to come up and over. Then take that top arm and just bring your right hand to the right side of the mat. Keeping everything aligned, just twist a little more, looking at that wall towards the left side. And as you exhale, feel your back hip pressing into the mat. And as you inhale, feel your chest extending forward. So take a couple deep breaths, sort of like a sideways cat and cow. The next time you come into that somewhat cat pose, come back to the side, lift up, reach to the other side, come back center, and find your way back to Supta Baddha Konasana. Oh, this is not Supta Baddha Konasana, this is just Baddha Konasana. We're not reclined. And extend your left leg straight. So sitting tall here, hopefully both sit bones are on the floor. Reach your right arm up. Feel the lift in the left side as you lift up and over. So we just did this in a different leg position. Feel the stretch like there's a fan opening up on the right side of your body. If this feels okay, open up that right arm behind you a little. Press the left hand into the floor to come back up to sitting, and you're going to lay completely onto your right side. So you have a choice. You can challenge yourself to be up here and feel the lifting and support under your right arm. Your legs, if possible, everything is aligned from your head to your knees. And we'll start by lifting that top leg and swinging it forward and back. And if that feels okay, you can begin to straighten it out, maybe flex and point. If you like, you can use your arm in opposition. The next time your leg goes back, hold it for a moment. And then from here, keep that leg extended. Check to see if you sunk. And we're just going to draw tiny little circles with our top leg. Reverse the circles. Breathe. And then we're going to bicycle that top leg 4 times in one direction. And reverse it. And then bend both knees, lift your feet if you like, and open and close 8 times. Notice if you're sinking. See if you can keep everything aligned. It's really important to do your best to keep the head, neck, and shoulders aligned. Good, better. And then everybody gets to lay down. Wrap your hands behind your head, so interlace your fingers. Elbows are stacked. Knees can be where you feel the best for you. Think of reaching that left elbow up, and then start to look at your elbow as you roll back towards your left shoulder blade. Taking your time, getting into chest, shoulders, and back. With every breath, see if you can allow yourself to let go even more. Again, you can hold this as long as you like. And then And when you feel ready, you can unravel and you could reach your top arm forward. So you have a couple choices. You can be like this. You could put something under your head to keep yourself aligned better. We're gonna reach that top arm forward. We're gonna reach it to the ceiling and start to roll back again. Being very mindful that we're moving, aiming the shoulder blade to the floor. And keep gazing back. Unravel. Pick up your top leg with your top hand. If you need to, you can grab a strap or a belt or anything that helps you. And just kick your foot into your hand to increase the stretch and maybe pull back a little and breathe and hold. Everybody should feel some sort of stretch in the front of their top leg. Then allow that leg to rest behind you. Press your top hand into the floor to come back up to a sitting position. And notice what side feels more comfortable. See if you could sit tall and even on those sit bones. If it feels more challenging on one side than it did on the other, you can always sit up on a block or something to help you even out your hips. Then reach your left arm to the sky, lift up and over, getting that fanning sensation in the left side of your body. Then take your left hand to the floor and start with that sideways cat and cow. Breathing deeply, feeling this through your pelvis, through your spine, maybe a little in the chest and shoulders. So we're really focused down in here as opposed to pressing into the mat. Okay, since we're already almost here, let's find our way to our hands and knees. Your fingers are spread nice and wide. And we're just going to start some cats and cows. As you exhale, find your way into your cat. Inhale into cow. With every breath, find the movement. So think of the breath initiating the movement. As you exhale, focus on the belly button reaching towards the spine and let everything follow along. And when it's time to inhale, lead with your chest towards the floor. And just continue feeling how the breath helps the movement. And notice how the movement comes along with the breath. You can also reverse the breath and see how that feels. What feels more satisfying to you? Then bring your legs together in the center of the mat. Lift your right arm up, and we're going to lace it all the way underneath you. So if you notice, I scooched my left arm forward. Hips are even right over the knees, and you're looking under towards the left side. You can stay here. You can take your top arm and see if you'd like to go for a bind. If that doesn't feel good for you, go back to where you were. You could take your top leg and give yourself a balance challenge. Then you can unwind and come to child's pose. So I like knees apart, hips towards my heels, head rests on the mat. Feel how that feels in your hip joints. Maybe even feel how it feels in your chest, neck, and shoulders. It should be a nice opening. It's a shoulder chest opener. As you exhale, roll back up to tabletop. Make sure that your knees are in the center of the mat. Pick up your left arm and lace it underneath you. See if you can keep your hips even. If this feels okay to you, take that right arm and find a bind. So you can do whatever is best for you. Maybe straighten out that right leg and find a balance challenge, or do what I just did. And then come back. Then from here, bring both hands to the right side of the mat and send both hips to the back left corner. Take a moment here, really breathe, feel the stretch in your body, and switch sides. And then come back center. And we're going to take our foam rollers and come to the back of the mat and bring the foam rollers right behind your knees. Then from here, you're going to come forward and the roller should be right above your knees. And we're going to start rolling into our quadriceps. I need to come forward a little more. So if you are like me today and you're feeling it from your workout the other day, boy, are your quadriceps saying hello. But this is a really great exercise to do to make sure they don't feel any worse. So we're really getting the circulation into our legs. You're getting a little extra ab work because you want to maintain a nice neutral spine as you roll forward and back. We don't want to sink into our lower backs. Hopefully this feels really good to everybody. And then come down, and we're gonna all start laying down. So bring the roller behind you. And I think the easiest way to do this, first of all, you wanna find the roller so it's in the middle of your shoulder blades. So I kind of hold on to the roller so I can feel where that might be. And then I hold on to my head and let my head rest into my hands. So ideally, by doing this, you feel a release in the back of your neck. Just breathe and allow yourself to feel yourself unwinding. You might feel a little energy in your shoulders. That's okay. Ideally, the goal is to let go, to learn how to find this position without straining. Then, keeping your hips on the floor, see how it feels to go back and see how it feels to come up. Now, I didn't tell you how to breathe. I want you to just explore for yourselves. And then I will suggest you exhale as you bring your head, neck, and shoulders back. And maybe exhale both directions. I was exhaling as I went back and inhaling as I came up. Then find that position where you could rest your head, lift your hips a little, and let's just start rolling into those rhomboids. So roll into the shoulder blades, that area between them. Maybe that feels really good to you and you say, I want to do a little more. Maybe twist your torso a little towards the left, getting to the left side of your shoulder, or go to the right. What feels right to you? It feels really good to me. And then bring the roller so it's under your neck. So everything is nice and rested. Your knees are bent. You're going to roll your head from side to side on the foam roller. My hope is it feels really good. Your hands could be wherever you'd like. I'm gonna just roll into the side that's super tight. You could do it on both sides. It's interesting, it's tight in different areas. But hopefully it feels good. You could go slower, you could hold for a moment. As long as it feels good to you. Now, if your foam roller's too big for this, it doesn't feel therapeutic, you could take 2 tennis balls and put them in like a knee-high stocking and try it that way. You could even plop them up on a yoga block. Sometimes it's just nice to have some sort of massage in that area. So then bring your foam roller so it's under your knees, but your knees are bent. Shoulder blades are down, and we're just gonna slowly rock that pelvis from our belly button to our tailbone. As you exhale, press down into the mat. Feel your spine connected to the mat. As you inhale, feel your tailbone reaching towards the floor. So just find a natural rocking sensation. I love the image of a bowl. If you look at a skeleton, the pelvis looks like a gigantic bowl. And you could just sort of rock it back and forth and just feel what that does to you. And notice how it affects other parts of your body. I can feel the lengthening in the back of the neck when I'm pressing my back into the mat. The next time you press your back into the mat, begin to lift your hips up and roll up your spine 1 vertebra at a time. See if you can really get those hips, cramping up higher than your ribs. And then peel down. So I'm going to keep my hands here, so as I peel up, and peel down. And then bring the roller under your feet and peel up again. Imagine your shin bones are shining to the wall in front of you, and rock your feet back and forth. Everybody is looking really good. Can you get your hips up even higher? I'd love to see more extension. Good, that's looking nice. And then peel down. So obviously if you cramp up, you did what I did and you come down and release it. This time we're going to bring the roller in. You're going to peel back up into that bridge and place the foam roller right under your sacrum. And hug your right leg with both hands. Then extend your left leg straight, and hopefully you feel a stretch in the top part of your left leg, and you're hugging your right shin about 2 inches below the knee and aiming your shin or your knee towards your right armpit as you press that left leg down. Circle your right foot from the ankle joint and reverse it. Then slide your left foot back, press your right leg down and hug your left leg with both hands and extend your right leg straight. Same thing, just pull that left knee towards your left armpit. Really press that right hamstring down. Get a nice opening in the front of that leg. Circle your left foot from the ankle joint and reverse it. See if you can get a little more of a stretch in the top of that right leg. So I'm gently pulling my left knee towards my left armpit as I'm pressing my right hamstring down. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, release a little deeper. And then bend both knees up. Make sure you're balanced evenly on the roller and start rolling your legs side to side. As you do this, keep those knees aligned, which keeps your pelvis aligned. And you can see if one knee starts to slide lower than the other. Usually what happens is when you drop your legs to one side, the leg that appears to be on top sinks down. If you need to at any point, readjust so you're nice and secure on that roller. Then come center And lift both legs to the sky and just extend one leg down at a time. So you should start to feel a stretch in the back of your legs now as you just let the legs open and close like a big cross-country skiing laying on your back. Lengthen. And then bend both knees and place your feet to the mat. Lift the roller off and lay back down. We're going to pick up our right ankle and cross it over the left thigh and play around with how far that feels good to you. So I really want you to honor the alignment from your hip through the center of your knee to your second toe. So if you're hypermobile and you can get that knee to go further than parallel to the wall in front of you, resist that urge. You want to be no more than parallel to the wall in front of you. And we're just going to start rocking a little side to side. And notice how that feels. Hopefully you're getting a stretch in the right side of your body. You can bring your foot all the way down if it feels right to you, or you could just do what I'm doing and just exploring the movement. I'm not forcing anything. Come center and pick your left leg off the floor, wrapping both hands around the left hamstring. If that's too deep for you, leave your foot on the floor. If it's not deep enough, wrap your hands around your shin. So a good indication of if it's too deep or not is if it's too deep, chances are your head and shoulders look like this. But you should be able to maintain a neutral spine as you hold on to that shin. Then from here, start to tilt your legs an inch towards the left and hopefully feel a lot of energy in the right side of your body. Feel that opening up. And then come back center. Unravel your right foot to the floor, cross your left ankle over the right thigh. Same rule applies. So your leg only goes as far as it feels okay to you, no more than parallel to the wall. Rock a little side to side. Then lift your right leg off the floor if that feels okay to you. Another thing to think about, let the leg rest into your hands. By doing that, you might feel an extra stretch in your neck and shoulders. So as opposed to pulling the leg in with your hands, just let the leg rest. So you could get deeper in the hip by wrapping your hands around the shin and still let the leg rest into your hands. Take a nice deep inhale. Exhale, see if you could release a little further. And if this feels good to you, tilt your legs an inch towards the right. Only as far as it feels therapeutic to you. And I say that word because I feel a lot of stuff going on in that left hip area. I'm not really pressing my leg away. I'm just maintaining that it doesn't collapse in. I'm just supporting it. And then unravel and bring both feet to the wide edges of the mat and begin to windshield wiper those legs side to side. So we're getting pretty much everything. The big request was shoulders, opening up the chest, and hands. We haven't really gotten to hands yet, but while we're here windshield wipering, what you can always do is squeeze and separate your fingers. So you squeeze in like you're balling up your hands to make a fist, and then you widen your hands nice and wide. It should feel kind of good. Then let both legs drop to the left and stay there. If you feel pulling on your right knee, you can take that foam roller and rest it right underneath there.
or a block or anything to support that leg. If you don't feel pulling, then you can just let it relax. Then interlace your fingers behind your head. Take a deep inhale here and relax yourself a little deeper. On your next exhale, pick up your right elbow and bring it all the way up and over to the floor on the left side. If it doesn't make it to the floor, that's just fine. What my hope is you're feeling a nice opening from the lower back to the front of the right side of your body. You're just letting the weight of your right elbow help you decompress a little more. And then lay completely onto that side again and give yourself one more chest and shoulder opener. You can choose to do it with the elbow bent or arms straight. And then unravel back to your back. Keep your feet on the wide edges of the mat and windshield wiper your legs again. So take your time just going side to side. And let both legs drop to the right. And take a moment here. Same thing, just notice how it feels, making sure it feels safe to you. Interlace your fingers behind your head. Pick up your left elbow and bring it all the way up and over towards the right side. And breathe and hold. Let everything go. And then let your legs stack up again for another shoulder heart opener as you come back. Opening up that shoulder blade towards the mat. Doing your best to keep those knees stacked. And then unravel back to your back and let's do some femur circles. So wrapping your hands around your shins, gently pull your knees towards your armpits. Let both legs go out to the side and then circle them inwards together. And just take a few of these and just take your time. It should feel really good. And maybe reverse the circle. And then bring your legs into tabletop, and if this is appropriate for you, press your toes forward to come all the way up to sitting. And then come back to sitting, facing the front of the mat. And notice your natural choice to cross your legs. I encourage you to do the opposite. Squeeze your hands again and open them. Squeeze and open. One more time. Open nice and wide. Really feel them stretch out. Grab your fingertips and gently pull your hands towards you, making sure that you're being very careful not to pull too hard. And switch. Ooh. I didn't realize I was tight there. And one more time, inhale your hands above your head into Jai Mudra. Bring your thumbs to your third eye and thumbs to your heart. As you gaze down at your fingertips, take a moment to see how you're feeling. Know that I wish you love, peace, joy,
and wonderful good health always. Namaste.